Hello, you noble people. My name is Noble, and this is going to be a continuation on the video I made a little while ago, talking about what I want to see in Pokemon ZA. Now, obviously, that was kind of like a wish list, and I was kind of talking about stuff that I'm hoping will happen. I decided, since it's literally really around the corner as of recording this, it is the 11th, and the game releases on the 16th, I kind of want to talk about stuff that I'm not necessarily looking forward to or I'm more scared. This is more the stuff that I'm hoping they fix, or I'm hoping isn't a huge deal breaker, because I think this game is going to be really fun. A lot of Pokemon fans are super excited for this game. Legends Arceus was a huge hit for a lot of people, and if they kind of fumble, it's not necessarily going to be bad necessarily. I don't think this game could probably be any lower than a 7, because it's still Pokemon. The case of it is at least for me personally, it's going to kind of temper my expectations when it comes to the new game. So if this game doesn't really hold up, then it's probably going to muddle my excitement for other games. So stuff like Gen 10, when they announced that, maybe Black and White remakes, the Pokemon Champions, I'm really excited for that, but maybe if this ZA is really bad, then maybe I will not get as excited. This is holding a lot of weight with excitement. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not going to be a video purely about me dissing the game. I haven't even got my hands on it. I'm not like some YouTubers who are dissing the game even though it's not out yet. But we won't really talk about that. The entirety of this video is just trying to talk about stuff that I'm a little worried to see that will happen in the game, and stuff I hope they will fix when the game actually released, or maybe it won't be a problem. Who knows, maybe this video will age like milk. Without further ado, let's hop into it. One of the unfortunate big things is the difference between the consoles. This is what a lot of people are scared of, people that I'm subscribed to, people that I've seen just posting about it. They are genuinely scared that they will have to be forced to get a Switch 2 because Switch 1 just won't work. This game is for Switch 1 and Switch 2, but newsflash, they have not shown any clips outside of the first ever reveal trailer that aren't in the Switch 2 version of the game. The gameplay you're watching right now is in Switch 2. When they revealed the Mega Pokemon, that is in Switch 2. The only time they revealed the Switch 1 footage is when we first got the starters revealed way back a while ago during the February, I think, Direct. But the fact of it is, if you go back and watch that, it's drastically a worse quality in terms of textures. It's at a lower frame rate, and people just think it's going to be buggier on the Switch 1, so the entire experience is going to be kind of put down. And that already knocks down how I feel about the game, at least a little bit, or if it's going to be good. Now, I kind of have just decided, you know what? I know my Switch Lite, I use a Switch Lite, by the way. I've had my Switch Lite since Sword and Shield came out. I know that my Switch Lite is probably not going to be able to handle whatever ZA is going to do. So I'm going to actually try and get the Switch 2 bundle for this game. It just makes sense for me, at least, because Switch 2 is probably going to be the new console for at least a little while. I imagine Gen 10 will be Switch 2 exclusive. So I figured that I might as well try and at least get that. But at the same time, my brother doesn't have the courtesy of being able to get a Switch 2. He's not locked with the Switch Lite. I only have a Switch Lite. My brother has an actual Switch. So at least he'll have a decently better console, but at the end of the day, it's still a little frightening, and a lot of people who have played it are a little scared that it physically won't run well on your Switch 1. We'll have to wait and see with how people get review copies and whatnot. I already know some leakers actually got their hands on the game early and are playing it on the Switch 1 version. Maybe the Switch 1 version is optimized, but all the footage I've seen is Switch 2, so I'm a little nervous about that. The next one is with the Gen 6 starter Mega Evolutions. If you did not know, the Gen 6 starter Mega Evolutions are for some reason tied to ranked battles as promotional rewards. I saw some people coming to the aid of this, trying to say they did this previously, but I think that's not the correct. As far as I know, like at least you could still get them in other different games. These are like seasonal matches, and they're not all at once. I know a lot of people talk about the Mega Blaziken one as a pre-order bonus, but we literally got the Gen 3 remakes right after the fact, so it doesn't really make sense. And the worst part is they're not all rewards. They're different rewards for different seasons. So, me personally, I really like Mega Chestnut the best out of these three. I have to wait until Season 3, and they don't give us a set date. All we know is that the Greninja one is the first, which starts the day the game launches. So, we could possibly be looking at, like, maybe Delphox is the November 16th, and then Chestnut would be December, or something like that. Meaning that I would have to wait to get, one of the starters Mega Evolutions like 3 months or 2 months after the game releases, and it feels really like penny pinching, if that makes sense. It's kind of obvious that they were only really doing this so you can pay the online and do these ranked battles so you have a Nintendo Online membership and that you get these. And to me personally, I will genuinely have to look at some videos to see how these Mega Pokemon play, because, newsflash, I don't really care too much about the online feature of this game. With the real-time battle system, I feel like it's going to be a little too chaotic for, like, actual, like, in-game battles. I might play some with my brother, but that would be local play, so me and my brother would be able to do that. Unless there's, like, an event going on that's, like, actually really cool, maybe I would get online, but I'm not going to get this online unless I know it is worth it. And as of right now, while I do love all these new Mega Evolutions, I'm not going to fall prey to them trying to get me to get online so I can get a Mega Pokemon. I feel like that should just be in the base game. And talking about trying to penny pinch, the next one is about the really, really stupid DLC for the game that hasn't released yet. During the Direct where they revealed the Gen 6 starters, they also revealed Mega Dimension, the new DLC for Legend ZA, and they revealed Raichu X and Raichu Y. Now, I think they're fine Megas out of all of the Pokemon that should have gotten X and Y Mega. I feel like Raichu with Pikachu being the mascot of the series makes sense, but I won't dive into that. The case of it is that this is the $30 paid DLC for a game at the time hadn't released yet, and we still have no knowledge on that other than the fact that it's most likely going to have a bunch of new Mega Evolutions that haven't been necessarily leaked or we don't know about, which is pretty cool. The fact of it is that I would not be surprised if this is just the post game of ZA that has been gutted for this DLC. And I will be one to say that I'm probably going to not get this immediately, especially if it's to be soon. Like, if it releases the day ZA releases, I'm not getting it for like a hot minute. If it releases like maybe a couple months, maybe I would get it. I might try and see. It's not like Scarlet Violet where we waited a little bit to get those DLCs announced. They literally announced it before the game even released. They're just trying to jump the gun and just trying to penny pinch, and it feels a little scummy. But I do still, like, it's still not the worst thing, and at the end of the day, this is something that you can either get or not get. It's not something that's going to affect your actual gameplay. With the Mega starters, this is something that would affect your gameplay. You wouldn't be able to use these Mega Pokemon at all unless you waited to do those ranked battles. And with the hardware, obviously the hardware can affect how you play the game, but at the end of the day, this DLC is kind of whatever. It's just added content. I'm just a little worried that the content that gets added was just supposed to be in the normal base game. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe ZA has an incredible post game and maybe they just really did a bunch of content. I could be very optimistic, but with the way they did this and the fact that it's $30, which I believe the entirety of the Scarlet Violet DLC is $30 for 2 DLCs, feels a little weird, but we'll just have to wait and see how that DLC plays. I probably won't get it immediately. The next thing is kind of something that could be easily solved. I'm a little worried how the actual real-time battle system will work with the actual cooldowns. It was kind of stated with multiple like showcases that the faster the Pokemon is, the quicker they will get their move cooldown back. And you can decrease that, but at the end of the day, the speed stat that the Pokemon has is tied to how often they can use moves. So I'm a little scared that some beefy, heavy, slow Pokemon that I want to use, like Aggron, Mega Aggron, Abomasnow, I'm scared that those Pokemon are just going to be kind of useless, and this game will favor more of the faster Pokemon. We've already kind of seen that slower Pokemon are difficult to move around and avoid, and that makes sense in terms of how big they are, but I'm hoping that they just don't take forever to do moves, because you wouldn't want to pick something that's going to be detrimental to your team, and especially with your Mega Pokemon, be detrimental to you in that aspect. And I'm a little worried how that's going to play off. This is just something a little nitpick. Maybe this would be something that would change really quickly, and maybe I'm worrying about nothing. Maybe they would give them like a really big attack boost for something. We'll just have to wait and see. Maybe I'm just getting worried about nothing, but I really hope that the Pokemon that I want to use actually work, and it doesn't favor one specific type or one specific category of Pokemon. Last but certainly not least is going to be some of my worries with the new Mega Pokemon they make. When I see Mega Pokemon, I want their design to be iterated and literally evolve. Just a natural evolution of that Pokemon's design in some aspect. And I think they have kind of nailed that with each aspect of the Pokemon. I think the Gen 6 starters are a great example. They take the idea of the rogue, magician, and paladin aspects, because they're supposed to be a D&D party. They took those aspects of the starters and like put them to 100, and that's so cool. I think Mega Victreebel is really cool. Well, I don't like new Gen 1 ones, and a matter of fact, if we get another Gen 1 Mega, I would be very disappointed. I know a lot of people really want a Nidoking and Nidoqueen, and while that will be cool, I really don't want to see that. I know some people think we're going to get a Mega Starmie, or Staryu, I forget which one is the evolution, which I don't really care about. I feel like we have so many Gen 1s, and Gen 1 took a really big highlight in X and Y. Like, you just get handed another starter that can Mega Evolve, and it kind of overshadows the Kalos Mons. Even though there's not that many, it still overshadows them. And I want there to be really new, big, heavy hitters. Just, like, go weird. Go, like, really random. I would want to see a lot of Gen 5. Gen 5 had, like, no Megas except, like, Audino, I think. Like, give us a lot of them. Like, I would love to see, like, Excadrill, Chandelure. Chandelure is one of my favorite Pokemon. I would love to see stuff like that. I don't want them to try and play it safe, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to see Mega Charizard Z or Mewtwo Z. I feel like a lot of people were trying to be like, oh, we got new Megas back, we're gonna get like Mega Ceruledge. Like, sure, Ceruledge is a cool Pokemon, but like, don't use your like flagship Pokemon. Do some weird ones. Give us some ones that people would be like, oh, I didn't think about that. This is actually really sick. That's what I did with Hawlucha. That's what I did with Mega Malamar. Mega Malamar is so cool. To me, he's like the perfect like enhancement and evolution of Malamar's design. But I'm really scared they're going to kind of undercut some of the Megas. Now, this is just something that I kind of have a little bit of a fear, because we don't really know what the rest of the Megas look like. And I feel like some of the Megas designs one of the Megas, new to Megas designs is kind of underwhelming. I feel like Mega Dragonite, the like actual feather wings instead of like the draconic wings, is a really weird team choice. Just a really, really weird. I feel like they should have just been normal dragon wings, but that's just me. But I'm really looking forward to it. Again, if we get whatever Mega Pokemon, I'll probably be happy, but I hope they can design them really well. I'm just a little worried that they choose some like flagship Pokemon and don't choose some of the weird guys. I want to see some weird and crazy Mega Evolutions. But that's going to be it for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Stay noble, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!